Hello and welcome back to the Kanakuk Institute Intramural Report. We've got a lot to cover this week, so we're going to get right into it. First up, we've got volleyball. Last week we had blue versus gray team, first game of the night. It started out slow in set one, but the blue team had a quick start in set two and took the game 2-0.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see Josiah Talbert has not quite made the transition from basketball to volleyball. He's used to touching the net in basketball, but can't quite stay out of the volleyball net. We also saw Laurel Perry use her head in this game, both mentally and physically.
In the second game of the night was red versus white. Marnie dusted off her volleyball shoes and made a return after a couple years without playing, but did not miss a beat. With about 36 aces, she was definitely the player of the game.
That's so true. With the net extremely low, Hannah McKeever still managed to fire her serves straight into the net. We also saw Madison having little to no volleyball experience being absolutely exposed by Marnie. Prayers going up for Madison going into week 2. Although Allie consistently wears a DBU volleyball sweatshirt, we saw this week that was probably a gift and she did not actually play volleyball.
And the final game of the week was black versus green. In this one we saw Connor and Josiah Rodriguez were absolute powerhouses on the net, showing little mercy and a lot of sass.
Yes, and in this game, Hank showed up in a Canadian tuxedo, denim on denim, everybody's favorite. He exhibited great athleticism, yet little control. Merrick and Fricks were also both missing from their game. Coincidence? I think not.
Looking at next week's matchups, we've got the red team versus the green team. What are we looking for in this one?
Watch out for Jack Holt and Ben Sullivan to make their volleyball appearance. Will they add anything to Marnie's game or just slow her down?
Probably slow her down.
That's what I'm thinking.
Blue versus black is the second game of the night. In this one, we're going to look to see if Faith is going to take another volleyball to the face.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. Expect to see more out of Colson this week. He was quiet this past week, but has been putting in the extra work to come out strong in week number 2.
And the final game of the evening, white versus gray. Will Jacob be able to stop Josiah? He's going to have to show up for us to be able to find out.
So true. And watch out for Rebecca Merlina to actually wear her glasses for all of the game. Surprisingly, you do better when you can see.
That was on Sports Science. I saw that
did.
episode. Now moving on to basketball. We've got the final standings, as you can see on the screen right here. Heat finishing up on top, followed by the Jazz, Bulls, and Mavericks. And this is what the final standings of the regular season look like for basketball.
Oh, shout out to the Lakers and the Rockets. Neither team won a game, but they tied with each other and just had fun.
A lot of it.
A lot of fun.
And looking forward to the playoffs. This is going on tonight at 7:30, the Heat versus the Mavs. For the Mavs, we're going to be watching Josh Johnson, also known as Kevin. He's been trying a new technique where he shoots with his eyes closed. It's a bold strategy, but we'll see if it pays off for him.
Also, our sources have confirmed that Bree Murray has guaranteed not just a victory, but a blowout.
And for the Heat, last week Jacob Sloan wore a buff around his neck during the game, so tune in to see if he ever pulls it up, not over just his mouth, but his nose as well.
Word on the street is that even though they're on the same team, Riley Wilson and Julia Olligood have had some heated exchanges over the past few games. Julia Olligood is not happy with Riley's shot selection, and she has made it known to Riley. We also heard that Straley and Jacob Sloan had to have conflict resolution after last week's game due to Straley's shot selection. They're working through it, but it has been pretty weird.
Second game of the night, the other playoff game, we've got the Jazz versus the Bulls. This is at 8:15. For the Jazz, Chauncey and Ashley continue to play some of the most stifling defense in the league. When asked about their effort to improve their defensive game or what they're doing to improve it, they just replied, "That's what I'm thinking," and walked away.
Yeah. See if Katie Bussman is sporting the "Thou shall not test me" mood 24/7 shirt in this week's game. Don't mess with her and don't test her.
And for the Bulls, Michaela Bailey and Ryan Lambeth have played this entire season with a take-no-prisoner mentality, approaching every game with one thing in mind: victory. Tune in tonight to see that mentality amplified, because as we know, it's win or go home.
Yeah, and this is the most shocking quote I think we've had in all of intramurals, and it comes from, don't be surprised, Bree Lint, instructed straight to Bailey Winkler, and we're just going to have to show you what she said.
I don't care that you broke your elbow.
And of course, the winner of these two games will play each other in the championship at 9 o'clock. Tune in to find out who the championship of this basketball season is going to be. And that's all we've got time for this week. Tune in tonight, like I just said, to see who the champion is going to be. We'll see you next time.